Hello, beautiful lives. Margie Lee here, and I am going to discuss a topic that just recently affected me, and it's called a missed miscarriage. But the funny thing is, my last pregnancy was 11 years ago, and so I remember it. It was my last pregnancy, and I remember going to the midwife, and I was measuring bigger than normal, hoping that I had twins. I really, really wanted twins. And when I went in August, she was listening for the heartbeat. And in the front, she said the placenta was in the front. It was a strong heartbeat. And then when she went around to the side, she said she heard a faint heartbeat. And she said it sounded like a placenta back there as well. I was so excited thinking, oh, the little twin could be hiding behind the baby in the front. And so when I went back in September, she told me that she didn't hear the heartbeat. And so it was just probably the cord or something that was kind of compiled back there and just made it extra loud, something like that. And so I didn't think anything of it. And then in October of 2008, I started cramping really, really bad and effacing and contracting and dilating. And so I believe that was my body's attempt to flush out that baby, the twin that died. But we didn't know that at the time. And so I was still pregnant with my little man. And so I was put on bed rest for 3 months, and then finally he was born, and I was having cramps and thought we were going to lose him for the whole pregnancy. And finally it stopped, and I gave birth to him, and he was a big boy. And we didn't think anything of it. So at that point, my life hit the fan, and I was no longer married, and so getting pregnant wasn't even an issue or a thought in my life anymore. And just this May, I was hitting menopause, and so in June, I started hemorrhaging, and I thought that was really unusual. And in July, I hemorrhaged again, and I went to the doctors, and they checked me out. And in August, they got really concerned because I started hemorrhaging again, and it was getting closer and closer. It was like every 2 weeks I would start hemorrhaging, and so I went in with ultrasounds and tests, and they never tested for, pregnancy because it's been since 2009, and so that wasn't even a thought. But when I went in recently, I remember she looked and she said, there's a mass there. And, when they tell you there's a mass and they're looking in your uterus, it's usually very scary. And then on September 2nd, just a couple of days ago, I gave birth to my baby. And it was still in the sac. It looked like it was about 4 months. It could have been about 4 months. And that correlates with the time where the heartbeat stopped. And so it's really surreal because her heartbeat stopped in September of 2008, and I gave birth to her September 2011. And it just hit me because I remember dreaming. I usually have a dream about my babies, and I remember dreaming about a little girl. And then when I had a boy, it just kind of threw me off because like, all right, Lord, I dreamt of a little girl, and I saw her face and her thick, dark hair, and I was just really confused. And then so after I gave birth to my baby a couple of days ago, I was communing with Abba, and I was talking to him about it, and I said, was that my little girl? And I said, I wonder what I would have named her. And he said, AnnabelleRose. I'm like, no, I would have never named her AnnabelleRose because I have a thing with our middle names. And he just said, AnnabelleRose. Like, oh, you're naming her, so it's a girl. And then my heart just started flooding again with the thought of, it was a girl. That was my little girl. My last baby would have been a girl. My son was a twin. And so I started going through the mourning process, just mourning the loss of my little AnnabelleRose and all the beautiful things that I had imagined with my little lady that never is going to be the little rumba. I call them rumba anyways. These little ruffled panties that I'd put over their diapers, and so when they crawl, it's just so beautiful. Just these little girls and their cuteness and the frilly dresses and the lace that I cannot experience and I will never experience. And when I was talking to Abba about it, I says, so Rose as in the flower? And he said, no, AnnabelleRose before you. She is here with me. She's come here before you. Like, wow, her name is a statement. AnnabelleRose. She's no longer here. She rose with my Abba, and he is holding her in his hands. And I am comforted by that. And so, ladies, my heart aches for you. This is my first miscarriage. I've never had one before, but I always assumed that I would because I've had lots of pregnancies. And I almost lost my youngest son. But now I'm going through the mourning process of a life lived without my little daughter around, ever. I'll never get to hear her giggle and smile, though I saw her in my dreams. I'll never get to see her become a bride, walk down the aisle. I'll never be able to hold her babies. But I am comforted knowing that AnnabelleRose. Sweet mamas, if you have a missed miscarriage, just pray that you get the comfort and the healing. There are a great comforter in God, in Jesus Christ. Thank you.